And on today's video, we're doing another speed build in Planet Zoo. And we thought we would do one thing, and the thing is, we thought we would do one exhibit, and we ended up doing another, which is, this kind of happens, right? You go in with a plan, you go in with an exact detailed idea about what you want to put out, and it turns out that wasn't what happened in the end. So we originally came out of the gate wanting to build a Southern Cassowary exhibit, one of those from the Australian DLCs. And we were going to model our enclosure based off of the Velociraptor pen from Jurassic Park. The big concrete structure with the electrical fences. Well, that didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to. It's rather boring. It's a very boring structure actually when you build it in real life, because it's not nearly as detailed. You can't do as much of a realistic modern zoo build with the raw Velociraptor paddock, and with the huge yard that we placed out in front of it. When we placed the cassowaries in there, they were just so small. You can only put two of them in there. For like realistic purposes, you only really can put two cassowary in there. And in my stream, I was chatting with one of my Australian followers there, and he was saying how rather tame the cassowary can be if they're not around their juveniles. So ultimately, we decided to scrap the entire idea. This was not our Velociraptor paddock. This was, in fact, one of the new Grasslands Animal Pack DLC animals, the emu, which fits in perfectly because it kind of resembles a ornithomimid dinosaur, the Gallimimus. So I decided that we would keep the faux electric fence look around the outside and just entirely scrap the paddock in favor of a large barn, which you guys are going to see later on. Now, the emu is a lot of fun. It's one of the brand new animals, and it was modeled, I think it's a brand new rig. I don't know if it holds the same rig as the emu and the ostrich does, but it's beautiful, it's goofy, they travel in herds. They actually do travel in herds. And the way they get startled and decide to run is so goofy, it's incredible. So you guys will see that in the background as the animals explore their little area there. So what are we doing with this habitat? It's an open yard. It's pretty self-explanatory. We're fleshing out the final habitat area for our outback adventure. So we're kind of just filling in the corners there and taking a look at what we can do with this space. Sometimes it's about filling in the gaps and filling in the extra spaces that we have. So we're looking at a little dry riverbed. We're looking at this giant big rock wall. We're gonna put in a sparse amount of trees and some foliage, and we're just gonna give all these emu something fantastic. I decided to give them a large herd. They allowed for I think 10 adults of each gender, so 10 males, 10 females. So we can do a rather large herd of emu in this enclosure. And I thought that was fantastic. Or what is it, a flock? What's the correct term for a group of emu? Is it a flock or is it a herd? Because they don't fly, so I don't know if they were a flock or not. Or they're a mess, they're a murder. The Great Emu War has decided maybe they're a platoon, maybe they're a unit of emu are in this enclosure. So we're looking at maybe even emulating this whole Jurassic Park style. I kind of wanted to keep that timed or timeless kind of look to them, like a prehistoric look, like it's an animal from another world, which, from those of us in North America or Europe, Australia, and its animals can kind of feel otherworldly, right? That they were so isolated for so many millions of years that the animals that evolved there have little resemblance to those you find in the rest of the continent. So maybe I wanted to give a little fantasticalness to this. I even attempted to do some sort of realistic terrain, what with the stalactite, the upside down stalactite trick that we got with the Twilight Zone, the Twilight DLC, but I decided to scrap that. I figured it would be just a good idea to keep the faux rocks that we got in with the aquatic pack and to really just let it kind of hang out there, and obviously let the guests know that this is a fake environment or a recreated environment. Like, what's the better word for it? It's not a fake environment, it's a real environment, but it's a recreation for what it is. So I gave them a little forage feeder, so they can forage underneath some of these trees. Like, I'm willing to put like a sparse amount of trees, sparse amount of foliage in there. They are grassland animals, as you can tell, and that actually gets me into the thought of what we were going to do next. We only have 2 more habitats to finish in our zoo here, other than the fine details and the polishing up before we put this live on the Steam Workshop. But we only have 2 more enclosures to look at, and they're both in our mountain area. So we're thinking of maybe doing the giant panda and maybe the snow leopard. We'll see what happens, but I would love to get 2 large enclosures done, maybe some indoor, outdoor enclosures put together for the rest of the zoo. That way we can set it live, we can put it on the Steam Workshop, and then we can start on with the next zoo. And what am I thinking about for a new zoo? This Grasslands DLC has me kind of interested in looking at more arid climates. And I know it'd be very easy to do an African-inspired zoo, but I kind of want to do a desert grassland zoo. I'm gonna test around and play around with some of the custom sandbox maps that you can put together. Maybe you put them in South America, and if it looked different than the different environments you would get in Africa, just kind of really play around with the idea, because I love the idea of showing off animals in areas that they're not commonly found in. Like, this is a temperate zoo, right? So a lot of different animals can be found there. We can put a majority of the animals in the game can fit in a temperate zoo, but I wanted to take a look and see what kind of animals we could feasibly facilitate in an arid grassland environment. So maybe we'll take a look at that, or we'll look at some building ideas and maybe do more of a concept to life style zoo, where we look at concept art, right? Concept art and builds for other zoos, and see how they fit inside this game. But that's all I have to talk about. I mean, you guys are great. Thanks for sticking around with this rebrand. For the holidays, we got new camera equipment, new lighting, a new microphone. So hopefully this sounds a little better too. So thanks for tuning in for this year. This might be the last speed build video of the year, so I will see you guys in 2023. We might be making some different kinds of videos. I have a lot of thoughts about Planet Zoo and the different kind of packs that we might be able to get in Planet Zoo's, what is it? It's 4th year of life. So I'm excited. Thanks guys for watching. I will tune in at the end of the video. We'll take a look at the live build, but enjoy yourself, take notes, and I will see you towards the end. Thank you. All right, and we're back. We're in the live build. And we're taking a look at the final piece, the final product of our great emu backlot area. And as you can see, they're thoroughly enjoying it. Let's see if I can get a lower look. Yeah. As always, I do a little bit of off-camera work just to kind of zhush it up. For us, this meant taking care of some foliage work in the far back corners, like this line of bush work we have on top of the cliffs. But the emus, they seem to be liking it a lot. I'm loving how they're barking at the camera. Their guttural noises that they make at each other is just so almost haunting. It's so otherworldly. I think they're incredible animals. I just love the way their strut isn't fantastic. They did a great job with these animals. Let's see if I can't get into the barn here. Looks like the guests aren't getting into the barn. I think there might be something to do with the viewing of the guests. But let's take a look inside. Just kind of tuck in here. Oh yeah, that's right. It looks good. I think it's fantastic. The keepers are in there. They're able to place down food, and looks like the animals are also getting a glimpse at their environment. Oh, looks like the furnace just turned on. Look at them go. Beautiful creatures. They're able to come in. I think we should put a door on there. I think that's the one thing we forgot to do was place a door in here. But yeah, oh gosh, I'm definitely getting. Ooh, hey, you're just gonna have a plop. Have a seat. Hi. Beautiful. Look at you. Look at you. You have some friends coming in? Yeah, let's just zoom past you as these animals zoom in and out of their enclosure. I love it. I love it. They're so cool. They're the closest thing that we're going to get to dinosaurs in this game, and that's cool. Let's move around back here. We have a bit of a shopping, a quick little like food area, tiny little food court in the far back. I think it was really important to place this here. Just the guests needed a bit more of a resting area, I think, than others. But yeah, look at that. Tight little tucked away, no big deal. If we zoom out even more, you can see that it's just a little tucked away food court. Nothing to worry about there. It was a smaller part of the zoo for sure. There we go. And the emus are having themselves a lunch. They're so goofy. They're so goofy. I love it. As you can see, there is a bit of a viewing enclosure in the far back there. That we didn't really get a chance to highlight in the video, but it's not done. It's not done. I still think it needs a little like research and development to see why it's not working the way that I wanted it to. And the guests aren't using it. They cannot see through the planks. So there we go. There's something along there. So we're gonna give that a second to work off camera until we figure out what exactly that build is going to look like. Maybe I'll do a separate speed build video for that viewing enclosure itself. All right, thanks for watching. This was a great video. I know it didn't turn out exactly what I wanted it to be. Like, it started off as something and it moved, it changed into something else. And that's kind of beautiful when you think about it, right? Like, as all builds should be, that's the plan. You should be able to pivot without fear and worry in your areas. So with that, I'll leave it to you guys. Thanks for watching. Tune in for the next time. We'll take a look at the mountain enclosures and really finish up this Twitch live stream zoo, the Franklin County Metropark Zoo. And thanks, guys. Let me know how you feel about the video in the comments below.